Good morning, flower friends. Dropping in here because I'm getting ready to water all my seedlings, and I had some things I wanted to say to y'all. So I thought, why not combine the two, right? So good morning. I'm coming to you from here inside my grow room. My grow room is simply a 10 by 10 like spare bedroom, but it happens to be in my work building, right? And because you all know that I have no greenhouses, no hoop houses. I'm in the middle of the city. And how does my filter look, y'all? I don't have any makeup on this morning. And it was going to be Lisa Unscripted, but I thought I would try it anyway. So because I can't have a house, a greenhouse or hoop house because of city ordinances, I have just made the best out of it. And I'm actually pretty glad I don't have houses because I can start like upwards of 13,000 seedlings in this space and support them if I need to. You may have heard me mention from time to time this past week, I've been yelling about it, that we started 17 trays of celosia on Monday, Bobo did. And y'all, they are just, I'm trying to find a green one so that they show up best. Look at this. They are like, we're nailing it. We're crushing it this week. These are coxcomb gold. Really a spectacular one. And y'all, I just can't, this is like showing your kids off, right? This is the mix, the chief mix. We grow them all. They're incredible cash crops, useful. Anyway, what's happening here today is that tomorrow, which is Sunday, I'm heading out for a 4-day business trip. It's something I haven't done in a really long time. I'm not speaking. I'm actually going to a workshop, kind of an exclusive workshop, and it's actually incredibly exciting. But as I'm preparing today to leave my garden, the team will be here, and Steve's here, right? And today is Stevie's birthday, by the way. And I'm having trouble saying, see you later, guys. As I'm watering and just thinking about all the things that are going to happen. You know how it is. You go away. You're only gone for a couple of days, but when you come back, it's like you missed 3 weeks worth of action, right? That's what I'm kind of feeling. So I'm going to water my trays. People are always asking questions about this. And I wanted to talk to you. I've got to show you something else too. I also wanted to tell everybody so you don't miss it. Y'all look at this. These are my eucalyptus. This is Silver Drop. I have all 3 of them. Polyanthemus parvulagum. Started in a small block in early January. Look at the roots on these boogers coming through. Can you see them on the bottom there? So I'm going to water. Let me get my watering can. And the real news that I wanted to tell you guys was that, I don't know if you've seen, but my Flower Farmer Club private community membership, you can join it. We've opened it for the weekend. It's kind of like celebrating spring, right? So I'm just pouring in what I think is enough. And then I'm going to go back and double check them all after we're done here. And so one of the things that I always think about is these are newborns, right? They don't have a big root system. So I don't need to I would be putting a lot more water in here if there was 2-inch plants growing in these blocks, right? That's why you just got to do it, y'all. You got to figure it out for your conditions. My grow room has been flipped. It's now in warm season tender annual mode. And that means it gets hot in here. It gets up almost to 90 degrees here in the afternoon. And I'm just going to have to move y'all around a little bit. You're not going to be able to see everything because my camera won't fit. It gets blinded by the light. These are just these are my demos that I use on our live shopping shows. And then I'm going to give this eucalyptus some water. And so heating my grow room up, and I do that by simply, in my situation, by just closing the door to my grow room, because while there's windows in this grow, that's south that way, so I get the southeast early sun. But we, of course, don't rely on the sun to actually light our plants. But it does warm up this room. And if I close that door, it gets hot really fast. So back to the point, right? So the Flower Farmer Club membership is open for the weekend. We have two options. You can do the monthly, or you can buy an annual and save. And friends, inside that community is pretty dadgum amazing. It's only about a year old. We've just been kind of flying under the radar and getting people in, and now we've got a nice crowd of folks over there. I drop a master class every month. I do it's called the Flower Farmer Forum. That's where we do a monthly meetup for a live Q&A as well as a mini training. I do weekly the sewing circle. You can comment club here and it'll DM you the link straight to the page. I do a private podcast. And then we have a community. It works like, it's not in Facebook, but it works like Facebook basically, where, I was just in there this morning going in and answering questions and reading and seeing what people are up to and doing. And it's an amazing community of people that are aspiring to be flower farmers or flower farmers. And I invite you. And the door, enrollment's not open all the time, so that just really allows me to focus on creating content. That's a big part of what Suzanne and I do now. And so you're invited. So comment club here. I would love to have you on the inside of the club. And that's where you have access to me also through the community boards where you can tag me. And of course we have our once a month meetups, and everything is recorded. So there's like this really rich resource library in there, and would love to have you join me inside there. And so we are knee deep. So Bobo will be here this week, continuing to start warm season tender annuals. Our first sunflowers, early birds, which we teach about inside the sewing circle in the club, are out being hardened off. They'll be planted this coming week. We just have a lot of great stuff going on. And I will tell you that the membership is really becoming my connection with folks. As social media just changes the rules all the time, right? And the access and all kinds of mess. So we have control in our membership of what you see and what you don't see. And pretty much it's social media without the advertising, and you know that you're going to get to see it all. And so I would love to see you on the inside. You can comment club to get the link. It'll be open until Monday, and then we'll close the enrollment again. And it's just a great group of folks. So when you go to the club page, or if you comment club and go to the page, there's student testimonials all the way at the bottom. It tells you all the different things that we do. And you can also comment PEEK, P-E-E-K, and we'll DM you the request to get a page showing a couple of the resources so you can actually see what they're all about. But anyway, tons of fun. Don't want anybody to miss it that wants to get in. The Flower Farmer Club enrollment is open until Monday. It's basically $20 a month, or I think it's $200. There's an annual. You basically get 2 months free when you do the annual enrollment. And so friends, that's where you'll find me over there, just busting my guts, sharing information, right? All right, friends, great to be with you here this morning. And now I'm going to put my eyeball. Every one of these trays looks wet to me. I'm looking down like the center runway for any signs of dryness, and there's no water left in the tray. Now here's a tray. This is a trial that we're doing. See how this is a perfect example. Can y'all see how this is wet back here? But look how this is not wet. I need to put more water in here. That's a new basil I'm trialing, and so far it didn't have the greatest germination, but we'll see. So that's what I do. I just add a little bit more, and I'll continue checking here and then look back at that. And friends, this is the only time I come in my grow room. People talk about they don't have time to do this, that, and the other. If you don't have time to do what I do, you shouldn't be a flower farmer. I literally, at the most, spend 20 or 30 minutes in this room in the morning, but typically it's 10 minutes. Sometimes I'll hang out if I have time to, because there's no better place to be. But it is a super efficient way to start seeds. And if you're interested in soil blocking, you can comment blocker here, and we'll DM you the link to all the stuff, my course, all the tools, equipment, kits, the whole enchilada, right? All right, friends, and because look, this is soil blocking. This is basil that's 2 weeks old. This is one set of 20 blocks. That's a 5.5 inch by 5.5 inch tray. They grow in this block till they're planted out in the garden, y'all. When you start them at the proper time, and it's just super space savvy, and it grows an incredibly healthy transplant, and it grows it quicker. All right, friends, till we meet again. Ciao.